Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about Hawkeye Episode 5, and what an insane, crazy ending that was for a really great episode. I really did enjoy it. So for like always for this Hawkeye reviews, I don't do a full recap of the whole show because there's so many people that review Hawkeye and recap it and do whatever. Like I don't expect a lot of people to come here. I just want to, geek out and nerd out. And anyone that wants to comment and talk about it with me, I always enjoy talking to you guys. So I'm going to just talk about the things I like in this episode, some theories, what I think is going to happen moving forward, and let's just get into it. So the first thing I really enjoyed was the cold opening. The beginning was so sick. I really like Florence Pugh as Black Widow's sister, Yelena. I think she's a great actress. The Russian accent, it's going to take some time for me to get used to it because I know what she actually sounds like. But I like what she's doing. I appreciate what she's doing with the voice and trying to actually become like this Russian character. I think she does good. But that beginning, seeing the blip and seeing it through like someone's perspective was really cool because she's looking in the mirror, right? And then it's like, boom, like she blips out and then comes right back in because that's her perspective. Like no time has passed for her. And to see like the wall change and all that stuff, I thought it was a cool thing to be put in their shoes to see that because we haven't yet. The one thing we've seen is like people disappear and then maybe like they come back, but never like through someone's actual perspective. So to see that, for her to ask for Nat when she comes back, and to realize that she's dead, her friend tells her, the other widow. I thought that was really cool. To know that she's been like helping out the widows during this time since we last saw her in Black Widow. I thought that was really cool, and it makes me wonder what the for Black Widow's after credit scene from where the girl whose name I'm forgetting from Falcon Winter Soldier, when she tells Yelena that Hawkeye's the one that killed her sister, like when did that take place? Was that after the events of Black Widow, which took place a while ago, or is that more present time? It has to have been more present time because with that information, why would she just go and help out the widows still? Like obviously that's something that she wants to do, but I feel like knowing that, finding out who killed her sister, like that's a first priority now, and that would be at the top of her list. So I guess the Black Widow after credit scene did take place more around this time than right after the events of the movie. Another scene I liked was the scene where Yelena and Kate Bishop are talking in Kate's house with the macaroni stuff. A little comedic scene for Florence Pugh, and I think she played it well. It was a little bit like funny yet scary. The conversation really we learn that Yelena wants to kill Hawkeye. Like Kate learns that Yelena is there to kill Hawkeye, but we already knew that. So I didn't get too much out of this conversation besides it being like a fun little thing. After this, the next thing I liked was Hawkeye going to the memorial of where they had like a plaque saying that this is the place where the Avengers first like linked up for the first time in 2012, and we see all the names. I thought that was really cool. And then that silent moment he has where he takes out his hearing aid and talks to Nat and then says, I have to go do something, like I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. I thought that was really cool. And I thought that he said that because he was planning to go take out Yelena, right? That's what I thought as, because why would he say, I'm sorry? He's like, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do. Maybe he meant like, I'm going to take another life. But then when he fights Echo later on, like he doesn't plan on taking her life, or at least like he spares her, unless that was just like a split decision on his part. But I don't know why he said like, I'm sorry, Nate, for what I'm about to do. I actually don't know why he said that. But moving on, he then calls his wife, and he's talking to her about the situation, whatever, right? About Echo. And he says that he needs to end it tonight or else the big guy is going to get involved. So obviously the big guy's been Kingpin, right? And so like while I've been watching this series, every time he said big guy, I think of Kingpin, but I thought that Echo, when she kept saying the uncle character, I thought that was Kingpin, but I guess not anymore. But we'll get to that later on. Let's keep going. So now we get the Hawkeye versus Echo scene, right? Hawkeye is dressed up as Ronin. He tells Echo to meet them at the place where they first met, or where Ronin killed the father, wherever it was, some location that they both knew of. And so Hawkeye's in the Ronin suit. They fight. Hawkeye obviously wins over Echo, but then he reveals that Ronin, which is him, right, killed the father on the orders of Echo's boss. So at this time we didn't know it was Kingpin. We just know it was Echo's boss. So it seems like Kingpin hired Ronin to kill Echo's father. But why? And has Kingpin been around this whole time? Like, I thought they were doing like a multiverse thing with Kingpin and Daredevil. now it seems like they've maybe been here the whole time. But so after this scene, we see Hawkeye leave, and it's Echo talking to her friend. She's asking her friend, which is not her friend, her coworker, whatever he is, right? And he was the number 2 for her father. So she's asking him, why weren't you there at the meeting of when my father died? And we know it's because he was probably in on it with Kingpin to have Echo's father killed, right? So that's why he wasn't there. And so she sort of gets this, like, she says, like, I'm sure now, like, the guy doesn't know, but he probably thinks that maybe Echo has an idea now. So I guess this is what the Echo show is going to be about. It's going to be about maybe her own little revenge thing against Kingpin. That's what I'm thinking, and I think Echo's going to probably turn into a good guy, I guess, because Kingpin's obviously going to be the bad guy. But yeah, I mean, her show is probably going to explore that path for her to get revenge upon Kingpin. Maybe we'll see Kingpin Echo show. I mean, we'll definitely see him in there. Maybe he'd be the big bad. And then the last thing towards the end, it's Hawkeye and Kate in the car. Kate tells Hawkeye that Kate and Yelena had a talk earlier, and Kate tells Hawkeye that Yelena is Nat's sister. And you can just tell in Hawkeye's face, he's just like, okay. Like this dude's been through so much. Like at that moment, you could just tell he's just like, all right, this is another big thing. Like I feel so bad from that scene. But now the craziest thing is that I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It's like Yelena sees Kate's mom and follows her, right? I already had a theory before that that Kate's mom was talking to Yelena in that one scene on the phone from last episode, the episode before that, right? And so Kate gets a text from Yelena, and she's like, I now know who hired me. It was Kate. I forget what her first name is, but it was something Bishop. It was Kate's mom, right? And then and then Kate tells Hawkeye, look at this photo. Fuck, I should have rewatched the ending to see what the exact words were. But it shows a picture of Kate's mom with Kingpin. And what's going on is that Kate's mom hired Yelena, but, like, how is she involved with Kingpin? Because I think Kate asked, like, who's that guy? And then Hawkeye's like, that's the guy I've been telling you about for, like, the whole show. And then it shows Kingpin. And no, I think he says, like, Kingpin. And then the thing ends, right? But, so I'm confused on, you guys need to explain to me if anyone's still watching this. So Kate's mom hires Yelena, but how does she connect to Kingpin? Was there a line there at the end? I have to rewatch it. But, I mean, this is crazy. I was giving my rating for the episode right now. I'm giving it a 4 to 5. For me, personally, it was the best episode yet. Like, obviously, the ending of this episode, like, bumps up the score a little bit, just because I literally screamed. I was like, this is crazy. Like, we all knew, like, we all knew Kingpin was going to come in the show eventually from the leaks and all that stuff. But even besides that Kingpin ending, Yelena, I thought the opening was great. I thought, everything with her scenes were really good. The fight between Hawkeye and Echo, like, everything that I've talked about in this little recap is why this is my favorite episode. But more importantly, Kingpin, we got to talk about this. Like, how is he, like, there, So, like, I know that, like, Disney bought Netflix, so they just got the rights to these characters. I know all that stuff, right? But for, canon stuff, like, how does Kingpin never interact with these characters before? Because I thought, when I first heard about Daredevil coming in, and I'm seeing Spider-Man No Way Home tomorrow, which we'll probably see Charlie Cox as Daredevil in that movie. I thought when I first heard Daredevil and Kingpin were going to come into the MCU, I thought it was going to be multiverse stuff. Somehow, like, the Loki and, like, the multiverses kind of converge. They maybe just come in here and they're like, what's going on or whatever. But it doesn't seem to be the case here, at least not with Kingpin. If Kingpin was around when Ronin was killing and hired Ronin, he must have been around for a while then, at least till then, like I said earlier. So are they going to explain it like how, like, okay, like, Daredevil's been around, Kingpin's around, Punisher, Jessica Jones, all those people, all those stories, they've been around, but they just never interacted with the Avengers. I mean, I know in Daredevil they talk about the Avengers, they say they exist. So I guess they're just going to go that route, right? Alright, so I'm jacked up on some coffee right now. I think I've actually figured this out. I was in the middle of editing this video where everything just sort of clicked for me. And I think I figured some of this stuff out. Okay, so I was confused about some of the events with Black Widow's after credit scene and how Yelena plays a part in this and everything, whatever. So, Kate's mom, remember in this episode, Jack said he was framed, right? And that Kate accused him of all this bad stuff, right? That shell company or that Soul, whatever that company was, that's not Jack. I think Jack was actually framed, and it was Kate's mom, whose company that is. And she's the one that framed Jack. And so she goes to Kingpin about this, and she's like, Hawkeye is very close to figuring out that I'm in charge of this company or whatever bad thing she's doing. Hawkeye's close. I need him to be taken out. And so that's when I think that Kingpin is also working with that Seinfeld girl and that we see at the end of Black Widow's after credit scene. And he tells her that, hey, someone I work with, Hawkeye's getting close to her. I need an assassin to take him out, right? And so she's like, okay, I have the perfect person in mind. So she goes for Yelena because she knows that Yelena would have a really good motive for taking out Hawkeye. And that's when we see the Black Widow's after credit scene of where she goes to Yelena and is like, do you want to know who killed your sister? And shows a picture of Hawkeye because she needs Hawkeye dead because he's getting close to Kate's mom, which means that, and Kate's mom's working with Kingpin. You know what I'm saying? And it all trickles down to that. And I think that's what's happening here. Another thing is that, like, why is Hawkeye even working with Kingpin? He says that, like, everyone dealt with the blip in their own ways. Maybe he had to work for Kingpin. Kingpin maybe took control of the king of the, what do they call, the track house mafia, whatever they call the tracksuit mafia, because he was able to get Hawkeye to kill Echo's father. And that's how Kingpin rises to power through that. I don't know. That's just my little theory. But I think that's all the questions I really have. Like, these videos are mostly for me, like, just getting my thoughts out. I love Marvel. I love geeking out about it. So anyone still watching this, thank you so much for sticking around and for this Hawkeye recap and review. Thank you so much. And just comment down below what you thought of the episode. I have asked so many questions about Kingpin and stuff like that. If you have any answer or any theories, let me know. And just thank you. Please make sure to like this video, guys, and I'm enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.